we meet again, Alucard.
It seems so.
We'll never forget playing these games or listening to them. Welcome to WatchMojo.com, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 retro video game soundtracks. For our list, we limited ourselves to one game per series. We ranked the titles from the 5th generation of consoles and earlier. That means the PS1 and N64 games are in, and games for the PS2 and Xbox onward are for the top 10 modern video game soundtracks. Most importantly, we're focusing on whole soundtracks rather than singular themes, as we already have lists for that. Number 10, Final Fantasy VI. This classic RPG series has always been known for its music, but this title stands out. The soundtrack, consisting of music composed by Nobuo Uematsu, complemented the game's shift towards deeper characters and story through its powerful cinematic synthesizer melodies. In addition to the instrumental pieces, Uematsu added vocal tracks that enhanced the game's operatic feel. We'll always remember fighting in the game's final battle when Dancing Mad blared away. Number 9, Quake II. We thought that no one could match the ambient music Trent Reznor wrote for the game's predecessor, but the rock band Sonic Mayhem proved us wrong. They took a completely different approach to scoring the sequel, favoring a heavy metal sound with lots of repetition, but they ended up creating the perfect mood for the title's intense combat. Who would have thought that violent imagery and heavy metal would mix so well? Number 8, Sonic the Hedgehog 3. Michael Jackson was originally supposed to be the composer of the soundtrack for this game. Though the credits didn't include his name, the Sonic team still ended up with amazing music for their title. STI director Roger Hector insists to this day that the King of Pop had nothing to do with the soundtrack that ended up in the game. But the similarities between its ending music and Jackson's song, Stranger in Moscow, suggest otherwise. Number 7, Donkey Kong Country 2. Lots of games have had a few types of sounds for their music, but Country 2's sheer variety makes it special. David Wise's score ranges from the funk influences heard on the bass line to Funky the Main Monkey to the calm ambiance of Sticker Brush Symphony. Our quest to save Donkey is unforgettable, and the range of music we listen to along the way helps cement it in our minds. Number 6, Castlevania Symphony of the Night. Before we heard Michiru Yamane's score to Symphony of the Night, we never would have thought that thrash metal and jazz could be combined. But the composer proved us wrong. Her soundtrack helped to create the moods for the game's areas that became so memorable, more so than any prior Castlevania game, as amazing as those tracks were to begin with. Number 5, Chrono Trigger. As we already said, we loved Nobuo Uematsu's work on Final Fantasy VI, but he saved his best for this game. He teamed up with fellow composer Yasunori Mitsuda to create a powerful score that meshed perfectly with the time-traveling gameplay. Mitsuda said that he wanted to write music for the title that wouldn't fit in any genre, and the abstract sounds he came up with created a unique experience indeed. Number 4, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 4, Turtles in Time. While some great game composers go out of their way to make their pieces sound orchestral and cinematic, others are totally happy to fit with the established conventions of video game music. The soundtrack for Turtles in Time falls into the latter category, and we wouldn't have it any other way. The game consists of non-stop beat-em-up action, and the music helps to create its frenetic pace. And it's made all the sweeter when remixed with the classic Ninja Turtles theme. Number 3, Streets of Rage 2. Nintendo Power called Yuzo Koshiro, the man behind the game's soundtrack, arguably the best game music composer of the 16-bit age, and it's hard to disagree, especially seeing as his best work came from a Genesis game. He used an outdated computer to create the techno sounds that make up its exciting score. They go well with Rage's side-scrolling fights, but they wouldn't be out of place in a nightclub either. Number 2, The Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time. This title is widely considered one of the greatest games ever made, and its music is a big reason why it's so legendary. Composer Koji Kondo created a wide array of sweeping themes for the game that go with different characters and locations in Hyrule. In addition to the background music, the gameplay requires players to play and perform tunes on an ocarina in order to go through time and space. Before we get to our number 1, let's take a look at some honorable mentions.
New construction options.
Please, listen to me. The Archbishop Lazarus. He led us down here to find the lost prince. And now kick, punch! Kick, 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 punch, kick, punch, chop, block.
Number 1, Megaman II. Did you know that Mega Man is known as Rockman in Japan? That's right, in reference to rock and roll. From its beginnings, series creator Kenji Inafume wanted the franchise's music to stand out, and composer Takashi Takeshi delivered in the second game with his masterpiece, Dr. Wily's stage theme. But the greatness of the game's music doesn't stop there. In every single stage of the second game, Takeshi's score is integral to maintaining the title's high level of energy and excitement. Do you agree with our list? What's your favorite retro video game soundtrack? For more musical top 10s published every day, be sure to subscribe to WatchMojo.com.